Alrighty guys, just a second here. Let's see if we can get things worked out here. Alright, looks good, looks much better. There we go. I think we're good to go. Alright, so welcome. This is your host ID Jester. Appreciate you stopping in to check out the old video here. So as you can see, we got APBA. My package came in today. We actually got APBA hockey and let's see, what else did we get? Oh yeah, this is what else we got. We got the APBA baseball with the Master Edition, Master Game Edition. Well, you can't see that in the screen, but it's the Master Edition and the regular edition. So we have both of those games. And I was trying to decide what I wanted to play first, but since it's been a long time since I played the hockey game, I actually owned the hockey game a while back. It's probably been 15 years ago, maybe. Played it, didn't like it at all, but I had no idea what the hell I was doing, to be honest. And so I don't know what I did with it. I don't know if I sold it, threw it in the trash can, or whatever. But I think the reason I didn't like it was it only came with like 2 teams at the time. Like I said, 15 years ago. The rule book wasn't really clear on how to play, and I didn't have anyone to play it, so I was trying to learn the game myself. And it was like face-off, goal, face-off, goal, face-off, goal. And I was like, oh, this is not realistic at all. 3 goals right off the bat? No, no, no. So I think I was doing some stuff wrong. Anyways, so we got the new edition. We bought just the regular. We didn't buy a season file. We just bought the the basic set, I guess, or the I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what they call it. They don't call it the master set. I don't know what they call it. But anyways, this is what you get in the master set, or whatever it's called. You get this nice board, which is nice. The only problem with this is how you're going to be playing. If you're going to be taking players on and off, it's kind of hard to get this off of there, players on and off. So I decided to go without it. And you get this nice rule book. It's got all the different, it actually has the rule book in the book, which is kind of nice, so you can always reference back. And then, of course, lots and lots of different charts here, charts and more charts and stuff like that. And then you get 4 teams, the 4 playoff teams from 2017-2018, which happens to be Tampa Bay, Washington, Winnipeg, and Vegas. So we're going to try I guess a tutorial training. I'm not going to keep track of stats or anything like that. We're just going to get the flow of the game going, do some plays, do some show how things operate, and then we'll actually play like a real game. Once we get a couple of these practice sessions in under our belt. So I'm just going to keep this over to the side for right now, I think, and keep that scorebook out of the way. And hopefully still be able to see the chat. All right, so as I said, you get 4 teams. I have the center, left wing, left defense, right defense, same setup. Washington is up on top, and Tampa Bay's down at the bottom. Washington will be at home. Tampa Bay will be on the road. And you can see here's some more Tampa Bay cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra cards. And even though I have the 4 forward lines and the 3 defensive lines and the 2 goalies, actually there's 3 goalies for Tampa Bay, but obviously we're only going to be playing with 1 unless, of course, something happens with him. And then same thing for Washington. For Washington over there. Got the 18 cards plus the goalie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I mean, you get plenty of players to have, a good setup. So there we go. All right, so it also comes with some little handy dandy charts, mini charts, I guess we call these. So here's the Faceoff chart. You use this a lot, obviously. We're talking hockey, so we use a lot of face-offs. So you have like this little mini card that I'm just going to keep on the table. You also have like a mini wide shot chart, and that's kind of handy to have. So I'm going to have that down there, and then you get some weird results on the charts, and it kind of have like a summary card, which we'll look at when those results come up. We have an assist chart, summary card, and then we have a uh, ODAI, Opponent's Defensive Adjustment Index. This is going to be kind of important, and it changed on the fly, which is kind of nice. So I just have those kind of scattered around, and what I have here is we just have we have our lines on, so when it's time to switch lines, I can just flip to the next card without having to take things on and off, so that'll be kind of nice. All right, so let's look at a card here and kind of go through. I'm certainly not an expert, but I've watched enough videos and read through the rule book, and I have a pretty good understanding of everything. We might have to look some stuff up in the rule book, but so obviously gives you a year and the team, player's name, and then here's the different positions, and then their rating, their offensive or defensive opponent's adjustment index. So for left wing, he would be a 3. For center, he's a 3. For right wing, he's a 3. He's actually going to be playing center. And then, of course, there's stats for each of the players. The stats are going to be forechecking, minutes. This is how many minutes a game he should play. His minor, major, and misconduct chances for getting penalties. Shot frequency, we're going to show you how that works. That's kind of real important when you're looking for players who's going to take the shots. Higher is better. Obviously, everything's rated from rolling 2 6-sided dice. Face-off, clearing chance, shot range, which is going to be really important. Higher is better. Assist range, intimidation range, and then, of course, your 6x6 matrix down here. Then your master rules down here at the bottom are CI, block chances, S chances, A chance, or A ratings, S ratings, C ratings, I ratings, and blocks. These all come in different situations. We'll look at those, but that's kind of the breakup of how things go. So each of the players have that, and then of course your goalies are going to be kind of rated the same thing, but kind of differently in that they're not going to have a lot of the other stats like shot frequency and shot range, but they got a matrix 6x6 matrix, and then they have win loss and overtime losses on their cards, and yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So I've got again center, left wing, right defense. I'm sorry, left defense, right defense, and we're gonna get things started here. We'll learn as we play, I guess, is the best way to kind of do it. And so we're gonna go through this kind of slow. So if you are an expert and you're like, hey, I just want to watch some gameplay, that's great. You can come and watch. If you're hoping to get a lot of game under your belt and watch a whole game in one session, that's not going to happen because we're going to kind of go really slow. So the first thing you do is so you determine who's the home team, who's the visitor team. Okay, so Washington is going to be at home. We're going to be replaying the 2017 playoffs since those are the cards I have, and we're going to be doing the both conferences at some point. And if we like it, then we're going to buy a season and we'll go from there. But Washington's at home. Since they had a better record, they're going to start at home in the playoffs, assuming. And so Washington's at home. So Tampa Bay has to determine their lines, which players are going to come on the ice first. And then, Washington can then counteract and decide which players they want to bring on the ice. Of course, if you're changing on the fly, then those rules are, that's just when the puck is stopped or out of play. So we have our lineups. Washington's at home. Tampa Bay is the visitor, so Tampa Bay will have to make their line changes first. For simplicity, for the first game, I'm just going to keep things, we're not going to try and match up lines or anything like that, okay? We're not going to go crazy. We're just going to use line 1s, and then we'll go to line 2s, and we'll see how it plays. We might try to adjust later on. And And then the next thing you have to decide is when your players come on the ice, you're either going to choose forecheck 1, forecheck 2, or forecheck 3. These are your three options: forecheck 1, forecheck 2, and forecheck 3. Forecheck 1 is low offensive, and you're kind of playing defensively back in your own zone because you have the lead. It's usually late, in the third period or later in the game. You're up by a couple goals, and you're just trying to stall for time and win. 2 is your normal standard offense. You're both aggressive and you're both defensively, and that's what you play. Number 2 most of the time. And then number 3 is aggressive, and that should be, like if you're losing by a goal and you're, halfway through the third period and you want more scoring chances or better scoring chances, then you're going to go to offense 3. So those are your three options there. So in normal situations, like I said, usually in the first period, unless you want to try something fancy and go, I got my best line out there. We're going to go aggressive. We're going to play number 3. You can do that. But for simplicity's sake, the rules say to go normal, which is offensive 2, and defensive forecheck 2 is your normal set defense. So that's what we're going to do for both teams, offense 2, until I change things up later on. Okay. All right, so Tampa Bay brings down their number 1 lines. Washington brings down their and says that they're going offense 2, and Washington then counters, and they're going to start off with their number 1 lines, number 1 defenders, and they're going to go offense 2 as well. So we're going to just use this as a puck because in this game the puck will move around, and whoever has the possession of the puck, you're going to roll on their card to get a result. So. All right, so the first thing, obviously, it happens all the time in hockey is the old face-off, right? So in this case, we are going to look at each player's centerman's face-off. So Anthony Miller has got a face-off value of 3, and Nicholas Backstrom here has an offensive value of 3. So they're both equal. So if one had an advantage, if he was a 4 and Backstrom was a 3, then this player is considered to have the advantage. And then when you roll on the chart, you have a side that says either advantage or disadvantage. If you roll advantage, then the team that has the better face-off man will have a better chance of getting the puck. In this case, if you're even, it goes to whether the home team or the visitor team gets the puck. So it's simply you're going to roll 2 dice, and since we got even Steven, we rolled an 8. We're going to add these together, get an 8 on the even, and the 8 says that the visitor center. So that's going to be Miller, right? So Miller gets the puck. So, the period is broken up into 40 plays, basically 40 sequences of plays. And anytime in the rule book or wherever you're looking, if you see a result that has an X on it, a big X in parentheses, that means a time segment goes by. So each period is broken up into 40 segments, so basically 40 different plays. A play can be a shot on goal or rebound, and then another shot on goal, and then another rebound, and then a goal, and then it might all be one sequence. So whenever you see an X is when you mark time off, and each time you mark time off is basically 30 seconds. So I'm going to just keep track on the side over here with the 20-sided dice. So we're at the 20 mark or 20, and then I'll count it down, and then once it gets to 0, we'll start it over again. That's halfway through the first period. So, all right. Alrighty, so Andrew Miller's got the puck. We got to see what happens with it, right? So again, offense, defense is going to be set at 2. So whenever we're looking at charts or whatever, we're going to be looking at the forecheck 2 column. There's a forecheck 3 and a forecheck 1. Again, if you want to go aggressive or if you want to play more defensively, maybe you have your 4th line out there and you want to play more defensively with them out there. Maybe you got a good matchup where your number 1s are out against maybe your opponent's number 3s. You want to play more aggressive, you can do that, but you got to announce it when the players come on the ice. And like I said, the rules recommend you play 2, 80% of the time, and then make some minor adjustments as the situation needs. All right, so JT Miller, and we roll, and we got a 62. So 62 on his thing is a 9. So we're going to be using this chart a lot, so we might as well introduce it to you. This is our forecheck chart. So in this, we are going to get the result of the play and for Miller, a 9 is going to be a result. So you'll notice, very important over here, when you roll a 1, oops, where is it? Come on, zoom in there, buddy. It doesn't like the glossy. I've figured this out, but all right, you will notice this is ODAI, and that is from numbers 1 to 7, and also from 10 to 20. So whenever you get a result between 1 and 7 and 10 and 20, what you're going to do is you're going to add up all of the defenders' ratings. So Orlov is the left defenseman is a 4. Ovechkin is a center. He's a why is Ovechkin? Oh, he's the left wing. Sorry. So left defense is a 4. Left wing is a 3. That's 7. And 4 is an 11. And right wing is a 5. That's a 16. And right defense is going to be a 3. So that's a 21, and then there is a chart, which is right here. So we're going to look on the 21 column, and based upon our forechecking of 1, 2, or 3, we're going to adjust the results up or down on those numbers 1 to 7 and 10 to 20. But the important part to remember in all this is it cannot go above or below 1 to 7. So you have to stay in that range, and you also have to stay in the range of 10 to 20. So if you have, say, rolled a 7 and your opponent adds 2 to the dice, it still stays a 7 because the most you can get is a 7 on those ODAI results. So we now know that when Washington has their number 1 line and number 1 defensive pairs out there, they're going to have +2 to any of the results that come from 1 to 7, and that can make a change. So if we take let's see, come over here. If we have say a +2 and we roll 1 instead of a shot on goal, it would go to a shot on goal and a tip it. So there's it can change the results of what the result is going to happen. So anyways, a 62 is a 9 that is not an ODTA, so we don't have to worry about anything. We just simply look at the 9 and the forecheck 2, and it says blocked shot. So if we just cross-reference this, 9 and a 2, it's, you see right there, it says blocked shot. So Miller tries to take a shot and is blocked. So in that situation, we're going to, that's a good question. Do we go right to the wide shot? I think we go to the wide shot, but let me just double check. Great, right off the bat, we're going to be checking the rules. Fortunately for us, again, I think it is, but, block shots, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, you can use, there are some optional rules, advanced rules. One of them actually is how you handle block shots, because there is, later on in the book here, a blocked, if you want to keep stats. This is mostly if you want to keep stats. So I will show that to you, because eventually we're going to be using that eventually, probably at some point. Nope, let's see if I can find the damn chart now. Where is the blocked shot results chart? All right, block shot chart. I was just looking. I thought it was over on the right, so I wasn't looking. It's over here on the left. So, all right. So we're going to roll on this chart here because the shot was blocked, and we're going to find out what happens to it. And we're going to look at the block shot chart, right? So what you so here's the way you end up doing it is you look at the defenseman, and in this case it's Orlov and Carlson, right? And Carlson's got a block of 2. Orlov has a block of 1. All right. So Carlson blocks more shots than Orlov does. So in this case, again, Carlson has the advantage over Orlov because he has more blocks, 2 versus a 1 rating. So you roll the dice and you just simply add them up. It's a 4, and you look at advantage plus 1, right? Because he has a 1 advantage. 2 versus a 1. So he has an advantage of 1. You look at 4, and it shows you who blocked it. In this case, it was the disadvantaged player, or the disadvantaged player. In this case, it was Orlov. So if you want to keep track of who blocks the shot and everything, you can go through this block shot chart. But the most important one is what happens to the puck after it's blocked, right? So you're going to roll on this as well. So if you don't want to keep track of block shots, you don't need to go through that procedure. But if you do, then you obviously want to go through that procedure. So we just want to find out what happens to the puck after it was blocked. It would say 10. Puck deflects to left defense. Doesn't say if it is the puck deflected to left defense. So I think that's going to just, since it's blocked, it's going to go to Orlov there, left defender. All right. Doesn't say whether it's the offensive team or the defensive team, but I'm assuming it's going to be the defensive team. So again, I might get a few of these rules, just have to figure them out as we go, but most everything is pretty self-explanatory. APBA is not known to be the most complex gaming systems out there. So I mean, if you're a gamer and you play lots of different games, or you're familiar with the way different games operate, you'll be able to pick up most of this stuff pretty easy. I mean, I was able to do it. You guys can do it. So Orlov has it. Let's roll an Orlov stock. 61. So that's a 28. Again, it's outside the 1 to 7 and the 10 to 20. So we don't have to worry about the ODAI results, right? So 61 again is a 28. So all we have to do is go to our normal chart, which is right here. A 28 for check 2. And we forgot to look, is our block shot did not have an X. Notice it did not have an X after it. So this all is still happening in the same time sequence. So 28 is going to be intercepted by the right wing, and you notice the X there. So now if we look at our forecheck 2, 28, it's a interception by the right wing and an X. So the right wing takes the puck away. That's Kucherov, and we're down to 19. I'm actually going to move the dice over to this side. I don't know if you guys could actually could keep it there, but it's probably too little for you guys even to see it. So Kucherov has the puck, and I'm just going to move that out of the way until we come up with a new chart we have to look at. That's a 16 on Kucherov is a 7. So 7 is going to be an adjustment. We already know what the adjustment is because we calculated it again. But just if you're just joining us, you're going to add up all the numbers for all the players' positions they're playing. So Orlov, left defense is a 4. Ovechkin, left wing is a 3. That is a 7. 11, 16. I'm sorry, it's a 19. I added them up wrong the first time. So 19 is going to be a +1. So again, he rolls a 7 on his card, right? But we had one is 8, but we can't go above 7. So 7 is the highest we can go to. So 7 says it's going to be a shot on goal block +2. So this is going to be a good example to show you some new gameplay here. Shot on goal block +2. All right, so let's reference our little cheat sheet here, right? So a shot on goal obviously means the player is going to attempt a shot on goal unless, of course, it's blocked. So we're going to get the sum of the block shot ratings of the two opposing defensemen and the number to the right of the plus sign is greater than or equal to the sum of the additional die roll, it's a block shot. If not, it's a shot on goal. So we take our shot block, which is a 2, and a 1. Orlov's a 1, Carlson's a 2, so that's 3. We get to add 2 to that, so they have a total of 5. So we got to roll a die, a single die, and if it's equal to or less than the dice, then it's blocked. And in this case, 1, it is blocked. So we can then find out who blocked the shot by using that nice little block chart again. There it is. So Carlson's a +1. We rolled a 6. 6 says +1 is advantage. So this time Carlson gets a block. What happens to the puck after it was blocked? It is a 7. Puck smothered by shot blocker for defensive zone face-off and another X. So that is whenever you see DZFO, that means defensive zone face-off X. So the X means we go down another time frame, so we're down to 18. So a minute's basically gone by in the game, or in this period, and we have a defensive zone face-off. So unlike our normal face-off chart, there is a offensive and defensive zone face-off result chart as opposed to the regular chart you use. You normally use this normal forechecking chart, right? But in a defensive zone face-off, depending on who wins, you're going to roll on this chart. And this supersedes that other one. So first thing we do is we're going to look at, again, we know both face-off men are equal. So we're just going to use our little chart here. That's a 7, so on a 7 it says home center. So this time Backstrom wins the face-off. And now we're going to roll with the offensive winning on that offensive and defensive zone face-off chart. So the offense wins. And this is going to be, actually, hang on a second. It was... Carlson blocked it, so this is a defensive zone. So the defense wins the defensive zone matchup. So we're actually going to roll. So it's a little confusing, but it's going to be the offensive defensive zone faceoff. It's not whoever gets the puck is the offensive team. It's Carlson blocked the puck. It went out of play. So it's a defensive zone face-off for them. They won the puck, so they're going to roll on this chart. Hope that made sense. So that is going to be a... So we roll on Backstrom's card. We get a 15, which is a 3. And we look at 3 on the defensive win. So in this case, it's a shot and goal, safe, neutral zone face-off, and a time frame would go off on that. But... safe means you're playing with that. Remember the forecheck 1, 2, and 3. If you're playing with forecheck 1, that's when it's safe. So anything that says safe on here, you can ignore unless you're playing in forecheck 1. So if they were playing in forecheck 1, it would just be a neutral zone face-off, and we'd go from there. But because it's not, we get a shot on goal, and Backstrom's going to take a shot on goal here. So let's look at how you take a shot on goal. So the first thing you have to do is determine whether or not the shot is actually on net and has an opportunity to score. So each player has a shot range from 11 up to whatever their number is. In this case, Nicholas Backstrom is at 23. So we're going to roll 2 dice. If we roll a 23 or less, then it's aim for the corner and hope he's going to have to make a save. If it's over 23, it's assumed the goalie has made the save, and we're going to roll, and I'm going to show you that chart here in a minute. But so Backstrom's at 23. We're going to find out He rolls a 66. So that is going to be a save. So if we look at another chart you're going to use all the time, and that's why it's next to the chart, because both of these charts are used a lot. You have your potential goal charts. That's when you roll within your range, right, for the player. If we were to roll 23 or less for Backstrom, it's going to be a potential goal, and we're going to roll on this column. If it's a save, you're going to roll on the second column. And these are all saves, and I don't think you can get any goals or anything like that. So these are all just normal saves. And we're going to roll 2 dice, and we're going to look at Vasilevsky here for Tampa Bay because it was on him. And roll the 36. 36 is a 33, so we look at the normal save, 33, and it says save, shot on goal, opponent, right defense. So he's got a save, and it's another shot on goal by the right defenseman. So if you were keeping track, you'd write down that Backstrom had a shot on goal. And now John Carlson, notice there's still no X, so we're still in this 30-second period of action that's happened. So Carlson is a shot range of 14, so 11 to 14, and that's a 31. So it's another save by Vasilevsky. You'd record a shot for John Carlson if you're keeping all those stats. And now we need to find out what happens with the results. 63 is a 38. Look at the 38. It says save, deflected into the seats for a defensive zone face-off and an X. All right, so Vasilevsky makes a save and kicks that one off his stick and ricochets out of play. So we're down to now 17, right? And so Tampa Bay is going to make line changes here. And since it's a good time to do it, we're just going to flip everyone over. Shouldn't take too long to do that. They were out there for the rules say to change players every every 4 minutes, I think it was. But that's just to make things a little easier, so you're not switching players all the time. If you don't mind taking the time to switch players, I would do it as often as you can. So another face-off. We got our number 2s out there again. Both teams will go for check 2, so we don't have to worry about any kind of shenanigans going on with that. We got McDonough, Stamkos, Killorn, Gord, and Girardi versus Orpik, Vrana, Kutsenev, Wilson, and Kissinen. All right, so face-off, 0 and 2. So Kutsenev, much better than Killorn in the face-off circle. So he's a +2 on our face-off chart. So we're going to use the advantage 2 chart for Kutsenev. Kutsenov. And that is a 10. And that's going to be disadvantage left wing. So the disadvantage, Killorn wins it even though he's outmatched. And it goes to the left wing. So that's Stamkos. And you don't want to give Stamkos too many chances. He'll light the lamp here on you. All right, so again, we're not keeping track of stats and everything in this test session, but normally you can keep track of block shots, shots on goal, saves, whatever stats you're interested in keeping. And that's a 61 on Stamkos. 61 is a 16. Now 16 will be, again, 10 to 20 ODAI, so we need to make the adjustments, so we need to calculate this up. And if you get your lineups and you write it down on your sheet of paper ahead of time, you figure these values out for each of your different lines and your defensive pairs, so all you have to do is look at your sheet and you can calculate it. Unfortunately, I don't have that, so. All right, so 3, 6, 9, 14, 18, and in 18 again, we're using forecheck number 2, and in 18 is a +1. So it's going to be a +1 on the results. So Stamkos rolled a, what did he roll? He rolled a 16. So 16 + 1 goes to a 17. So we're going to look at 17, and it says intercepted by the center. So Kuznetsov, intercepts it, and the time frame goes off. So we go to 16 on the dice, and we roll on Kuznetsov's card. 13 is a 6. That falls in the 1 to 7. So again, we would normally have all this written down, but 3 Stamkos at left wing is a 0. Wow. So 3, 0. Maybe, do I have these? I think I have them in the wrong position, actually. Kaloran should be at left, and Stamkos should be in center, which makes a lot more sense since he's a face-off 3. I think I had actually put these guys in the wrong position. Sorry about that. So it's 3, 7, 11, 15, 18. So they're going to be a +1 because we know we've now learned what these numbers are, right? So forecheck 2, 11 to 19 is a +1. So +1 on to Kuznetsov. He rolled a 13, which is a 6. So it's going to go from a 6 to a 7. As long as you stay in the range. Again, it's going to be a shot on goal, and we're going to see if we can get a block. So block +2. So the block for McDonough is a 2, and Girardi is a 2, so that's a 4, +2 is a 6. So it's going to be blocked. Now we can find out who blocked the shot, and I just dropped my dice because I couldn't get it into the little device. All right, so that's going to be this chart here. So since they each have equal value, we just roll, and that's a 6, so it's going to be the left defense. So McDonough blocks it. Now we got to find out what happens with the puck. That's a 4, and a 3 is a 7. Again, that's smothered, and defensive zone face-off, and an X. So we're down to 15. If I can find it, there it is. And we have another defensive zone face-off. So again, with the defensive zone face-off, Tampa Bay is in their defensive zone. Now this time Stamkos has actually got the advantage, 3 versus 2. So, and that is going to be a 5 on our chart. 5 is going to be disadvantaged right wing. So that's going to be Wilson's going to pick that up, and it was in Tampa Bay zone, and that's what's good about actually using this little play mat, this little chart, because you can see who's on the defensive, who's in the defensive zone and who's in the offensive zone if you can't keep track outside the game. But Tampa Bay was in their defensive zone. They lost the faceoff, so it's going to be offensive zone for Washington, and now they got a something. Ooh, that is a 2-11 on Wilson is a 1, and that is a shot on goal by Wilson. So Kuznetsov wins the faceoff from Stamkos. It goes to Wilson for a shot on goal. So Wilson's shot range is a 22, and he rolls another 11. So that is in range. Obviously, 11 is less than 22, equal to or less than 22. So that is now in range. So now we're going to be rolling on the danger chart, potential goals. So you see anything 19 and higher are all goals until you get to 38. There's a chance that it might be a penalty shot instead of a goal. But if you get a 19 or higher, it's pretty much in the back of the net. So you're looking for something low on Vasilevsky here if you're a Tampa Bay fan, or if you're a Washington fan. That's a 52. 52 is a 27. We look at 27, and that's a goal. And he's going to light the lamp. So Tom Wilson's going to score a goal for Washington. And Washington takes a 1-0 lead, and there was an X on that, so we're down to 14. So we went from 20 to 14. And so we're 2 minutes into the game, roughly 2 minutes to roll in the game. And where can I find the 14? Here it is. So now we got to figure out who got the assists. and the actual time of the goal if you wanted to keep track of all that. Again, this is, you don't have to, but there is charts for that. So one of the things is we do have the assist chart here. So if you look at what came in the game, I need to get this sheet out. It does come with one and only one sheet, so I don't want to use this sheet up yet until I make some copies of it. I might not use this. I might create my own sheet or whatever, but since it only has one, I don't want to ruin it by writing on it. So you can see that each of the teams come with some different numbers and things and blah, blah, blah. But one of the things it does have is Washington, average goals a game 1.71. So when we look at our assist chance here, we're going to look at, you're going to look at the assist chart. Assist per goal is 1.71. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's assist per goal is 1.71. So that is going to be 11 to 54 will be 2 assists, and if we roll 55 to 63, it's just 1 assist. Roll the 31. So in this case, it's going to be 2 assists. We're going to roll a single die, so we're going to look at the red die. It's a 1. So the 1 says, if I get it to zoom in, 1 says, we're going to look to see in this order if the left wing, the center, the right wing, the left defense, and right defense. So we're going to look at the left wing in this case. And who scored? Tom Wilson scored it. So the left wing is Jacob Verana. He's got an assist of 23, so you roll. If you roll that number or less and he gets the assist, he didn't. So we go to the next player on the list, which is Kuznetsov, the center. He's got an assist of 42 and 35, so that'll be the first assist off of Kuznetsov. And then the right wing, which was the goal scorer. Then the left defense is Orpik at 61. It wasn't Orpik. And then finally, Nissikin, the right defenseman, rolled the 55. So the only assist is going to go to Kuznetsov from Wilson from Kuznetsov. And now we're going to get the actual time of this goal. We know that we're at 14, which means there would have been 6 ticks off, which is 3 minutes. So what we do now is we simply roll on the chart. There's another chart. Imagine that. Do we have a card for that? I don't think we do, actually. I don't think so. So there's a chart for that. I'll show you that here in a second. So here's the timing chart. So you roll 2 dice. We got a 35. So 35 says 20 seconds. So you subtract 20 seconds from where we're at. We're at the 14. We've gone through 3 minutes. So subtract 20 seconds off of this. So at 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, Washington takes the lead. All right, so hopefully some of that makes sense. Hopefully. All right, well, we're going to switch lines here, minus Wales, since we got a Washington has a nice 1-0 lead. Going to bring out the threes. And there's only 3 defensive pairs, so they're going to start, lining up different. And again, you don't have to just go 1s to 2s to 3s to 4s and back, but for simplicity's sake, for a learning game, I'm going to do that. So, if you were playing realistically or whatever, you might want to, at this point, maybe Washington says, oh, they're coming out with their 3rd line. I'm going to bring my number 1 line back out. So, all right, Kuznetsov, I think I did it again. Did I do it again? Yes, I did. I got these all backwards, don't I? All right, Tyler Johnson should be in center. Kunitz should be in left wing. Right wing is Callahan. Right defense is Dotson and Micah Sergachev is the left defense. We got Doze, Connolly, left wing. Center is Eller. Right wing is Stevenson, and Boley is right defense. So we got a face-off of 2, face-off of 3. So Wiles Eller with the +1 advantage. That's a 6. On the +1 is advantage left defenseman. So this one is going to Doge. Christian Doge? I'm not even sure how to pronounce that guy's name. All right. So we're back to just normal, everyday forecheck chart at this point. 1-0 Washington. 22 says 2. So 2 falls in the 1 to 7, so we do need to calculate our results up. So 2, 6, 8, 10, 16. 16 on the forecheck, 2 column is 0. So with this combination, no adjustment. So Connolly is rolled a 22. That's a 1. It's going to stay a 1. That means it's a shot on goal for Connolly. Vasilevsky, shot range of 34, so 34 or less. He rolls a 65, so Vasilevsky with the save. Let's find out what happens. Of course, we marked down Connolly with the shot on goal. Mark down Vasilevsky with the save, but I'm not keeping track of that right now. And 61 is going to be a 22. 22 says save, pick up by opponent, left wing. So the opponent left wing is going to be Sergachev. And it does say X on there, so we're down to time off, down to 13. Sergachev. 51 is a 3, which falls in the 1 to 7, so we need to know what Washington's values are. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 is a 0, so no adjustment. We rolled, what the hell did we roll again? Damn. I think we rolled a 2 or 3. Either one is a, I think it was a, I think it was a 15, wasn't it? So it's a 2. So 2 is a shot on goal if you can get it on. He's only a 11 to 14. That's 32. So that's going to be a save by Holtby this time. Holtby's save says 53, and that is a 6 result. A 6 is save smothered for defensive zone faceoff and another tick off the clock. So we're down to 12. So time can go by really quickly. It just depends what happens in between all those face-offs. So these players have actually been on for 2 plays already. Could go through the process of, you know what, we will. What the hell. We'll just we'll bring in another line just so you guys can see all the different players. And these guys are messed up. For some reason, I have all the left wings in the wrong spot. All right. And you can mix and match your lineups however you want to do it. You don't have to keep your lineups, you know, it's up to you. You can move players up and down in different lineups, etc., etc. So, all right, so we're back to a face-off, and this is defensive zone for Washington this time. They're defender because Holtby saved that one and smothered it. So, big opportunity for Tampa Bay if they can win the face-off. And why did my monitor just go off? To get a good shot on goal here. Let's see. Paquette 2. Jay Beagle's a 5. Good Lord. So he's a +3. And we rolled a 6 on the +3. That's going to be advantage center. So Beagle's going to win that face-off. And that is a defensive zone face-off. Which is not that chart. It is the offensive zone. There we go. All right. Jay Beagle wins it, and 35-20. So 20, we know there's no adjust. Nope, we got to calculate again. So that's one of the advantages of having your lines already set up on a sheet of paper with all your results. But 4, 8, 10, 12, 16 is a 0, so no adjustment on the, what do we roll? 35 again is a 20. So a 20 on the defensive wins, defensive zone faceoff. It says interception, right defense. So the right defenseman, Anton Strollman's going to intercept that. And, oh yeah, that's right. On the, I should mention that. On the defensive zone and offensive zone faceoff charts, you notice there's no ODAI at all on that. So we didn't need to actually calculate that up. So interception, right defense. INT and shot on goal, right defense. Forecheck 10, unless of course the other team's playing safe. In this case, they're not. Forecheck 10. What forecheck 10 means is look at the forecheck of all of the I think it's forecheck. If the total forechecking rating of the left wing, center, and right wing on the ice are equal to or greater than the number, so they have to be a 10. The forecheck, which one is the forecheck? Oh, the number on there. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So they only have a 7 because this is the fourth liners. So it's not a shot on goal. It's not a shot on goal. NT and shot on goal, right defense, forecheck 10. So it's not a shot on goal. If it's not, it's a wide shot. Okay, so there's the result there. So we're going to roll on the wide chart result. So Strollman was trying to get a shot. The forecheckers were trying to give him clear alley, a clear path to get it on. They weren't able to do that. So Strollman shot it wide, and we get a 7, and that is going to be a shot and goal for HSF. And this is a kind of a common term in this game you're going to need to know a lot about. So HSF is the highest scoring frequency, and then you can see 2HS and 3HS. That means, the second highest shot frequency and the third highest shot frequency. So again, we're going to look at our 7, which is the highest shot frequency. So you just look at all of the players' shot frequency, 17, 18, 18, 17, and 11. So it's one of these two with the 18. So we're just going to give it to Paquette there. These are fourth liners, so they're not usually that high. Shot range is only a 15. And, oh, he rolled a 16. Just missed it. Well, actually, it's a save by Holtby. So it's not missed. It's still a save. So you credit Holtby with the save. And you roll a 21, and that's a 23. So the 23 says saved. Pick up by opponent right wing. So that is going to be Smith Pelly. And it have a little X there. So another tick off the clock. 62 is an 8. That will, because we're back to just a normal chart, that will be adjusted. No, 8 is outside the range. Sorry, 8 is outside the range, and that is a shot on goal, forecheck 11, or it's a wide shot. So again, look at the forecheck, 3, 2, 2. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it was just, forecheck is the left wing, the center, and the right wing, right? So these did not get the required 11, so it results in a wide shot. So no shot on goal there. roll on our wide chart, a wide shot chart. That is a 7. And the wide shot chart says roll both dice and add them together, blah, blah, blah. It tells you what to do, but basically it's going to give us another shot by the highest shot frequency. So in this case, it's an 18, an 18, a 10, a 17, and a 10. So it's going to be one of the 18s. It's Carlson or Smith-Pelly. Smith-Pelly just took that attempt that was wide, so we're going to give this one to John Carlson. Shot range of 14. That's a 24, so that is a save by Vasilevsky. And 21 is a 14 on the save. Save picked up by right defense. So picked up by Strollman there. And another tick off the clock. So we're down to a 10. 53 is a 19. That is an ODAI, so we need to calculate the results. 19, see if I can remember that now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 16. So that's no adjustment. 19 says intercepted by left defense. So left defenseman is Orlov. Another tick of the clock goes off. We're down to 9. Orlov. Dave Gardner, hey, I have to watch the replay. Got up to take a pee working at 6 a.m. All right, buddy, we'll see you tomorrow. Again, I'm not really keeping statistics or anything. We're just kind of going through the flow of the game and showing some of the charts and stuff. 23 is a 22. That one is not. And that's intercepted by the center. So Cedric Paquette has intercepted it. And now, instead of actually rolling a play on his chart, what we're going to do is we're going to use the dump and chase rule, which is kind of an optional or advanced rule or whatever. But basically, in this case, you're dumping the puck in on the fly, right? So you roll on this chart here and you find out where it goes and then whether or not it's going to result in a dump and chase situation. In this case, it's a 42. 42 says opposing left defenseman, which is Orlov, but it's a dump and chase, so it's basically dumped in the corner. And we're going to have a puck battle here in a second. Before we do that, though, we make the change in our lineups. So we're just going to flip through the script here. Go to the next lines. There we go. All right, and then we roll a die. And since it went to the left defenseman, it's either going to be the left wing or the centerman. One of these two guys is going to go in after the puck over here. So roll a die, single die, which is the red one. If it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the left wing. If it's a 5 or 6, it's the center. So it's the left wing. So in this case, it's the left wing and Orlov. So we look at Orlov, which is back here in the corner, and look at these little numbers down at the bottom, which is C, which stands for corner battle. And in the corner battle, it has a number and then a slash and then another number. And what this represents is the corner battle value. If he's an offensive team, or he's the offensive man with the puck, or defensively. So in this case, it was dumped into his corner, so he's going to be the offensive player. He's going to try to get the puck. He's a 9. And we compare that to the man that's going in after the puck. In this case, it is Braden Point. He is the defender in this case. He's trying to get the puck away, and he's an 8. Right? So 9 versus 8. So Orlov is beaten by 1 point and only 1 point. So in that case, what you do, if one is better by 3 or more points, they automatically win the battle. If they're tied or 1 or 2 points separate them, then we're going to roll on a chart to see who wins the battle between them fighting over the puck. If I can find the damn chart now. Boom, 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 boom. That might not be 100% accurate now that I think about it. It might just be whoever's higher gets it. On the fly changes. Right. Checking the check for. Okay, so in the dump and chase situation, there is no chart. You just figure out who's better, and they win possession of the puck, and then time would come off if the defender gets possession of the puck. If the offensive man goes in there and steals the puck away because he's got a higher result, then time doesn't tick off because what happens then is there is um, a battle in the slot between the player who got the puck and a random player, and then you're going to find out if he gets a shot on goal or not from there. So Orlov steals the puck, or doesn't steal the puck, but he gets possession of the puck. Now Washington is going to do basically the same thing because these players have been on the ice a long time. So they're going to try and dump the puck in. They're going to roll. I rolled a 61 in this case. He iced the puck. So that's going to be not good. So with icing, we know that the offensive team can't change possession of the puck, or whoever iced the puck cannot change players. The other team could. So in this case, if Tampa Bay brought out a bad lineup matchup, they could then switch to another. But since we just switched, I'm not going to switch them again unless Jay Beagle is a 5 faceoff. That is huge. All right, so it's going to be a defensive zone faceoff for Washington. That's a 7, and that's going to be advantage left wing. Jay Beagle with the 5, Miller with the 3. So left wing is going to be Burakovsky. He's going to get it, and now they're going to try and dump in again. 34, and that's going to go to the opposing right wing. This is Kucherov, and notice it doesn't have the dump and chase option. You just basically they dump it in, and the right wing gets possession, so there's none of that. And before we would have done anything, we would have obviously changed players. So Ovechkin lines Backstrom, Ovechkin, Oshie, and the defensive pair of Orpik and Nissikin. Some of these players are really hard to pronounce their name. Anyways, and you know how good I am at pronunciations. Ask Clinton Parker about it. He'll tell you all about it. So Kucherov has it. Both players are now kind of changed on the fly. And there should be I think the timer should have ticked on that one. So we're going to take it down to 7. And I might have missed 1 or 2 here or there. All right, Kucherov has it. Let's see. He rolls a 15. That is a 1. Again, that can be adjusted here. So 3, 6, 10, 15, 19. That's going to go up 1. Right? 17 to 19 is a +1. So this is where you might want to fine tune your lines, because 19 gives you a +1, but if you could get a 20 by, moving a player maybe up or down your different lineups, you might get that +2. In this case, a 1 goes to a 2. So a 2 is, I believe, still a shot on goal, and yes, it is. So Kucherov with the shot on goal. He is a 23 shot range. 55, that one's a miss. Oh, and one other thing, anytime you roll a 53, that's going to give you a matchup. I don't believe we've rolled that number yet, but I have to remember, the number you want to remember is 53. If you're on offense 3, then it's 53 and 61, I think. I have to look at the rule, but I think it's 53 and 61 are matchups, just like we had before with the little numbers. But in this case, you roll on a chart to find out who wins, and all kinds of interesting things can happen. So Kucherov, let's see, he was outside his range. So Holtby, let's find out what Holtby did with it. He rolled a 1. That is going to be saved, picked up by left defense. So left defenseman Orpik's going to get that one. Another time ticked off the clock. That's down to 6. If I can find it, there it is. So Orpik has it. He rolls a 15 is an 11. That will be adjusted. So that's 3. Oh, God. Have him in the wrong position again. Still have him in the wrong position. All right. So 3, 6, 10, 14, 17. So 17 is going to be a +1. So again, we rolled a 15, which is 11, takes it up to a 12. So a 12 is going to be pass. Okay. So here we go. So this is a new, where are we? We're somewhere down here. So it's 11 +1 is a 12. It's going to be a pass, AR, shot on goal. All right. So what that means is we don't have that one on here, do we? So basically, he's going to pass it to AR shot on goal. Right. So how do we determine who he passes it to is the question. All right. Pass to the possible automatic shot on goal. First, determine who has the puck by passing. Oh, right. So you roll a die, a single die, right? So Orpik is going to try to pass it, and we're going to roll a single die. And if it's a 1 or 2, it goes to the highest shot frequency player. If it's a 3 or 4, it's the second highest. If it's a 5 or 6, it's the third highest. Okay? So he's passing it to 4. So it'd be the second highest shot frequency. That's a 5. Ovechkin with a 34 is going to be number 1. And a 16 looks like it's going to be the second highest. So it's Orpik passes it to Backstrom. Now we get to see if he gets his automatic shot on goal with that. And what we have to do is roll his assist rating. That's what the AR is, assist rating. So we got to roll that number less. He made a great pass to Backstrom, who gets a shot on goal. If he doesn't roll within his assist rating, then he passes it to Backstrom, but it's not a great pass, so he doesn't get a shot on goal. In this case, it was just a pass, no shot on goal, and another time sequence off of the clock. All right, so Backstrom does have the possession of the puck. 42-4-2 is a 6. Again, this can be adjusted. So 3, 6, 10, 14, 17. So that is going to be a big fat +1. Damn, what did he roll? I think he rolled a 4. So 4 goes to a 5. I got to remember what numbers they roll. That would actually help me a lot. So 4 goes to a 5. 5 says shot on goal A, neutral zone face-off. So I think this means the player may get a shot on goal if any teammate on the ice at the time has an assist rating equal to or greater than the dice roll. So it would have probably been a good idea for me not to pick up the dice and remember what the damn roll was. Oh, let's roll it again. I was at 24. So anyone have an assist rating higher than 24? Yes, Ovechkin has an assist of 32 or 33. Oshie has an assist of 32. So yes. So in that case, it should be this means the player may get a shot on goal if any team on the ice at that time has an assist rating equal to or greater than the dice, which leads to this result. If all teammates' assist ratings are lower than a face-off results. For example, the coach rolled a 35. On the forecheck chart, you see ODAI to the right of the result number 4. You can check the opponent's defense points. Let's see. The player gets a shot on goal if any player on his team on the ice has an assist rating of 35 or higher. Remember, 35 is the number originally rolled to get the result. Yes, so in this case, we'll just say Ovechkin has a good enough assist rating. He gave a nice pass back to Backstrom. I kind of messed that up because I shouldn't be picking up the dice so quickly. But that's going to be a shot on goal, and Backstrom's shot range is a 23. That's a 56, so another save by Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky's at 23. That is a 6. 6 save smothered for defensive zone faceoff. So Vasilevsky, Backstrom with another shot. Vasilevsky with another save. And now Tampa Bay has a defensive zone faceoff. So we're going to go ahead and sounds like a good time to make changes all the way around. Stamkos line coming back out. And Ovechkin's line is going to be off the ice. So it's going to be Wilson, the goal scorer, Tom Wilson, Kuznetsov, and Verana, and the defensive pair of Doge and Bowie. So face-off 2, face-off 3, Stamkos has a 1 advantage. I'll try not messing up anything anymore. It doesn't help when I'm messing things up. That's a 10. Advantage 1 is disadvantage center. So Kuznetsov seals that one away from Stamkos. Faceoffs never take up time, but we are in 5, so just a few more plays, we're going to be halfway through the first period. That's a 45. That is a 14. That will be adjusted. That's 6, 10, 14. That'll be 18, so that's going to be a +1. So 4 + 1 is a 5. So this time I did remember, right? 45. 45 is, oh no, it's a 45. It's a 14. +1 is 15. 15 says pass, right defenseman. No time, no X, so no time comes off. So this is all happening in the same sequence. And I dropped the dice again. All right. So Madison Bowie. 14 is a 30. That's not adjusted one way or the ice. That is icing defensive zone faceoff. So they've iced it. Good time for Tampa Bay. They're going to keep the same forwards out, but they're going to bring out their number 1s again. That's going to be Hedman and Strollman are going to come out. And then that was not a time sequence, right? On the icing. Yes, it was. I'm sorry. So it should be down to 4. I probably missed a couple of them along the way, but all right. So 2 versus 3. Stamkos with the advantage again. 10 though. That's going to be disadvantage center again. So once again, Kuznetsov, Mr. Sneaky, and they have their third defensive pairs out there. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and change on the fly. You can't change on the fly unless you have possession of the puck, by the way. They rolled a 45, and that is going to be dumped into the left defenseman, Hedman. And it will be a dump and chase situation, but before we do that, we can change our lines here. So it's going to be, I think they're going to bring out back out. And they'll bring out the next line. Ehlers, Brett Conley. All right. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the winger. In this case, it's the left defenseman. So it'd be the right. It's either going to be the right wing or the centerman. Roll this. So 1 to 4 is the right wing. He is a 6. Hedman is an 11. So Hedman wins the battle. And time sequence goes off. Nobody's going to take the puck from Hedman. Nobody. All right, it's a 66. That is a 1. That can be adjusted again. So 4, 6, 9, 12, no, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, in fact, is a 0. So no adjustment on the 1. So Hedman might get a shot here. His shot range is only a 15. That's a 34. Saved by Holtby. That one hit him in the midsection. Let's see what he does with it. That's a 56, and that is a 34. 34 is a save. Goal knocked off moorings for defensive zone faceoff and an X. So we're down to 2 more time sequence. 1 minute left in the period. So another faceoff defensive zone. So defenders in this case will be Washington. And we rolled an 11 on the faceoff, and that's advantage right defense. So that's going to be Stroman. And we're going to use the special offensive defensive zone faceoff chart. So offense won it. 60, that is a 43 for Stroman. 43 is a 29. 29 says intercepted by the left defenseman and a time sequence. So 1 left to go, and we're halfway through the first period. 24 is a 27. That will not be adjusted. So 27 is a, I gotta get back to the normal chart now. 27 is intercepted by the center. So Stamkos steals it back, and we're back up to the 20. So halfway through the first period, 10 minutes gone. Stamkos has it. 62 says 9. That will not be adjusted by defenses. And it's a block shot. So we can look. Carlson is a 2. Orlov is a 1. That is a 7, and that is whoever had the advantage. So Carlson with the block. What happens with the puck? That is a 9, and puck deflects. So Carlson with the block deflects over to Lyles Eller and center position. And that was a time tick. Was that a time tick? On the block shot. I don't think a block shot is. Let me look at the chart here and see if it says anything. I'm not sure about that one actually. Oh, some of them are, some of them are not. We rolled a deflected to the center, which is not a X, right? Always look for the X. I keep telling you guys to do that, and then I don't do it myself. That's bad. That's bad gameplay. Lyles Eller has it. 24 is a 9. That won't be adjusted again. 9. 9 says block shot, so it's blocked by. Hedman is a 1. And Stroman is a 1, so they're both 1s. And I have to keep switching to this. Again, if you're not keeping track of block shots, it doesn't really matter, but that is a 3, and that is going to be the left defenseman. So Hedman gets the credit with that one. And that is a 6, and puck deflects in the crowd for defensive zone faceoff. Sounds like a good time to make some adjustments here. So it looks like Tampa Bay is going to bring their ones in, and you know what? We're going to get fancy here, and we're going to bring in our threes here just to make things, try and do a little bit of matching. Ovechkin, actually, are these ones? These are the ones. So they're going to bring their ones back out. Sure, why not? And with Bowie, it's going to be Doges. All right. So face-off, Backstrom and Tyler Johnson. Face-off 2, Backstrom with a 3. So Backstrom with the advantage, 30. No, that's a 4. And disadvantage left defenseman. So McDonough, as Johnson wins the draw, back to McDonough. 16 is a 28 on the regular. We haven't had any penalty checks yet, which is a little interesting. So 28. 28 says intercepted by the right wing. And that is going to be a time tick. So we're down to 19. 19. The game can go quick once you know what you're doing. A little bit more than what I do. 63 is a 25. That is intercepted by the right defenseman. So Daniel Girardi gets that one. That's a 41, and that is a 24. 24 says intercepted by left defenseman. So a lot of interceptions going on, and the time is ticking by quickly now. It's 1-0 Washington halfway through the first period. Actually, we're down to 9 minutes left in the game, or in the first period. So that is a 64 is a 23, and that is intercepted by the right wing. So once again, another time ticker off, 130 seconds. 45 is a 26, so intercepted by the left wing. So once again, back and forth. A lot of sloppy play here. A lot of neutral zone sloppy play, I guess, is the best way to role play this. We're down to 15. Somewhere in here, there's a 15. And again, I probably missed a time frame in here or there. So, all right. So back and forth we go. That was literally like 2 minutes. It was 4 rolls. It went by really quickly like that. Or 4 possessions, which is 2 minutes. That's a 1-1. That is a 1. Again, that can be adjusted. That is 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 is a 0, so the 1 stays a 1. So Christian Joes. He's only got a shot range of 13, though, so he's not going to get it. It's going to be a save by Vasilevsky. Let's see what... That is a 31. 31 of Vasilevsky is a 4. 4 says save, picked up by the left wing. So that's McDonough. Picks that one up off of Vasilevsky. 61 is a 28, though. 28 says intercepted by the right wing. Another tick off the clock. So Madison Bowie has it. 65 is a 30. 35. That sounds like something. Beep. Penalty 2 minutes on Bowie. All right, so here we go. 2-minute penalty. And there was an X on the end of that, so we're down to 13. So it's a 2-minute penalty, which is going to be 4 sequences. 4 sequences, so that would be the right defenseman. So they're gonna bring in Niskanen and Orpik, and they're gonna remove the center. they'll bring out, sure, we'll leave Ovechkin. Nah, they were just on the ice. We'll bring in Verona and Tyler Stevenson, I think. Bring these guys in. And for Tampa Bay on the power play opportunity, we're going to bring in Braden Point, Plot, and Koenig. Nah, Kucherov. We're going to bring Kucherov and Point and Plot. Sergachev and Girardi are going to come out. All right, so we got 4 plays we need to do. All right, so face-off of 1, Point is a face-off of 3. And I believe if you're on the power play, you get a +2. I think that's true to your face-off value. That's kind of on the edge. Let's roll that one again. So that's a 5, and that's going to be, actually, it doesn't matter. 5 is all disadvantage, so it's going to be the disadvantaged right wing. So Stevenson gets it. So power play, what happens with the power play is if you got a 1-man advantage or 2-man advantage, there's different charts, right? So there's different charts to use. Let's see if we can find them here. Special teams chart. Here you go. All your shot ranges go up by 2 on the power play, +10 if you're on a 2-man advantage, and -10 if you're on a 2-man shorthanded play there. So I will be rolling on this chart here for a little while, looks like. Well, at least 4 plays, right? All right, so Stevenson gets a 13 is a 22. There is no ODAI on the power play at all. So 13, and this is the shorthanded team. 13 is a pass. AR shot on goal. So pass, AR shot on goal. So we're going to look to see with the red dice. Oops, hang on. With the red dice. 6. So it's going to be third highest shot frequency, and that happens to be 22, 5, and 12. So that's going to be the 5, Orpik. So he's going to pass it to Orpik. Now the question is whether or not Orpik gets a shot on goal is based upon Tyler Stevenson's AR, which is assist range. He's got a 23. I don't think that adjusts on the special teams, actually. That's a 52. It's just a normal pass, no extra shot on goal. So Orpik has it, and no X either, so don't have to worry about time going off. 36 is a 34, shorthanded 34. Another penalty. This one is a coin penalty, 2 minutes. And I believe that means it's coincidental penalties for 2 minutes on, let's see, it was Orpik there. So Orpik might be in the penalty box. A coincidental, I'm going to just double check, but I think coin means coincidental. Let's just double check on the penalty chart thing. Penalty chart thing. Yeah, coin penalty 2 minutes. The player from whose card the results is sent to the penalty box for 2 minutes. In addition, an opposing player may be sent to the penalty box for. All right, so to find which player, look at the opponents on the player on the ice. Players at the time and locate the one with the highest min rating. Roll a dice. Right. Okay, so Orpik's going to the box, and this is, we have to, keep track because this is actually one play off of this. Remember, 2-minute penalty is 4 plays, right? So this is only the first play, and I think Let me just double check. Was that actually had an X or not? Let's find out. I think it did have an X. Let's see. Yes, it did have an X. So 30 seconds is gone. So we still have 3 more to go for the original penalty. And now we got coincidental minors going on between Orpik and a possibility. So you find somebody with the highest min value. And that is a 14, a 0, a 0, a 16, and a 12. So 16 would be highest. So you roll, and if I'm not mistaken, you just roll and see if that player takes the penalty. Roll the dice for this player and combine them. If the dice roll is equal to or less than the player's min rating, he is assessed a 2-minute penalty. If not, find the second highest. Continue this way until a player is penalized or until you run out of players on the ice. In this case, there is no second penalty, and a power play ensues. If 2 players are assessed coincidental minors, check each player to see if they may also receive a 10-minute misconduct penalty. Anytime a coincidental minor penalty occurs, it does not result in a power play. An additional minor penalty may be called. Roll 2 dice if the result is a 51 to 66, then an additional minor is called. Roll 1 die. 1 to 3 results in the additional minor being on the visiting team. 4 to 6 results in the team coming from the home team. All players are eligible for this additional minor. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, so 16 or less, it goes to Sergachev. And there it is. Boom. So Orpik, if I had my sheet, I'd be writing all this stuff down. But Orpik is going to be out. And Sergachev is going to be out. I'm just going to pull them guys out for a few minutes. And in fact, it's going to be 2 minutes. So we'll keep track with a different die, right? We'll use a green die. Put that over there on those 2 cards. And we're going to have a face-off. Let's see. We're going to bring Carlson back out. It's only been 30 seconds, but 30 seconds rest time for these players are in really good shape, or still pretty good. We're going to let Ovechkin rest a little bit. And we'll bring in Doze. That's fine. And we're going to bring in McDonough. And Dotchin. And we're going to bring in Miller. Stamkos is coming out. And I think we're going to leave Kucherov back out there. All right. So it's still a 5-on-4 power play. We didn't have anything until this. So going through this for the first time, and there is 13 ticks, so that would be what, 6.5 minutes left in the first period. So now we need a face-off. Stamkos is a 3. The highest one they have out there is Burakovsky, which is a 1. So Stamkos with the +2 again. Let me check the old rule to make sure. All right, so each player on the team with the man advantage has a shot range. Yeah, I thought I read somewhere where. I could be making it up. Oh, it's if a 2-man advantage, all face-off ratings are rated by 2 for the team on the power play. So yeah, no advantage. So that's an 8. Stamkos has a 2-point advantage. 8 and a 2 is advantage. Right defenseman. Right defense. There we go. And we're going to use our special power play chart again now. Special teams chart's what they call it, actually. All right, so still no X. Face-offs never take an X, so you don't have to worry about that. That's a 45, is a 26, and it's intercepted by the left wing and an X. So big play there is Christian. I'm going to have to figure out how to say him. Doge and an X. So this one goes to 2. Oh, and I forgot to take a tick off of this when I was doing all that. So it should have been a 12, and now it's down to an 11 actually. So that's 5.5 minutes left. And now these guys have got 1 tick on them. Whoever had the other penalty. Oh, I know who it was. It was this Yahoo over here, Bowie. Should have pulled him out, I guess. So Bowie has a 2. So a minute gone on his and 30 seconds off of these guys. There we go. All right. All right. So Doge has it. 44 is a 3. Uh-oh. Special team chart. Shot on. Yeah, there's no adjustment for the ODAI thing, right, on the power play. So 3, shorthanded is FOGFP. Otherwise, it's a neutral zone face-off, so no advantage. But the shot on goal FP is a shot on goal FP. I think it's a shot on goal only if the defenders or the attacking team has a forward in a defensive position. That's what the FP, I believe. It's in the rules, but I remember reading it. So it's going to be another X, which is good for these guys. But it's a neutral zone face-off, so no advantage to either team. It's 30 seconds, so we're just going to leave the same lines out there. So Stamkos has the advantage again. That is a 5, and that's disadvantage right wing. So once again, Stamkos cannot get possession of it. Smith Pelly, 24 is a 27. 27 says intercepted C with no X. So Stamkos takes it back, no X. And a 26 for Stamkos is a 9. 9 is a shot on goal, possibly. So shot range for Stamkos is a 23. Oh wait, no, it's a 20. You get your shot range plus 2 for being on the power play. So a 23 goes to a 25. He rolls a 24, so that is a shot on goal in a scoring position. Holtby needs to make the save here. And otherwise, we're going to have as a tie ball game. That is a 1-1, which is a 1, and that is a save. So big save there by Brayton Holtby. Picked up by the left defenseman, and that brings us to an X. So I think I forgot to do this one again. So it's going to go from a 10 to a 9. So we're down to 9. So was it 4.5 minutes left? This guy's now reached his 4, which is 2 minutes. So he can possibly come back at some point. And these guys are up to 30 seconds left. And now, because the power play is over, flip these cards back up. We will use, sure, we'll use Backstrom. That's fine. All right. So the left defenseman gets it. And rolled a 14, which is a 30. No adjustment. And we're no longer in the power play, so we're back to just normal. And that's going to be icing. Defensive zone face-off for, and is there an X? There, 30 is an X. So that's going to be the 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes is 4 plays. That's their 4th. So both of these guys are eligible to come back. but we are going to be doing a defensive zone face-off, and we need to remember to adjust our main time as well. All right, so what are we going to do here? I have to bring out some new players. Washington cannot at this point because they iced the puck. Bad them. No, wait. Yes. So defensive zone. So it's in Washington's end. I'm going to bring Orlov back out. And Ovechkin. Who's Ovechkin's line mates? Backstrom and Oshie. All right. Bring these guys out. And Orlov and Carlson. So back to their number ones. That's fine. All right. So we got these extra dice. We can just set these out of the way. Backstrom is a 3. Johnson is a 2. So Backstrom with the advantage. That's a 6. And advantage left defenseman. So Orlov gets it. 32, 26. 26 intercepted left wing X. So another time off the talk. 7. So what is that? 7 is 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first period. Big opportunity there by Stamkos, denied by Holtby. McDonough. 66 is a 1. Again, that can be adjusted. 4, 7, 11. He's a 5. That's really nice. That is a 16, 17, 19. So that's going to be a +1. 1 goes to 2. But that doesn't matter because that's still a shot on goal possibly. Well, it's going to be a shot on goal. Now the question is, Ryan McDonough is only in 13. No, it's a save by Holtby. He rolled a 26. That is a 24 on the save. Save, shot and goal opponent, highest shoot frequency, check clearing. So this is a new one for you guys. So I should probably show you this one. Oh, the 26. So 26 says shot and goal opponent. Let's see, 26. Or maybe it was a 25. It was maybe it was a 25 because it's highest shot frequency. And then after that it says check, clear, defensive zone face-off X. So here's how you work a clear. You look at the clear values. So let's see, the shot is coming in on Holtby from McDonough. It was a save by Holtby. So Carlson's clear is a 3, and Orlov's clearing is a 4. That is a total of 7. So if you roll 7 or less, they clear it out of there. They do 7, and that results in a neutral zone face-off. I think is what it was. No, defensive zone face-off, and another time off the clock. So 3 minutes left to go. And so defensive zone. So these guys are in the defensive zone. Backstrom still with the advantage 7 and advantage right wing. So Oshie gets it. That's a 12. 12 is a 25. That says intercepted by right defense. So Stroman gets it in an X. So we're down to 5. 66 is a 1. Again, that can be adjusted for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 17, 19. So +1. 1 + 1 is a 2. Again, you'd normally have your different line combinations written down on a sheet. Line 1, if we look at our sheet here, you have, line 1 with your left wing, your center, and your right wing, and then you would have your total values written down. So you already have Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Oshie, which are going to probably play together. You'd have that value written down, which is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 9, 10, 11, 12. So these three are 12. And then depending on which defensive player they were playing with, it would go up from there. So you'd have all this written down. And you wouldn't have to calculate it up unless you want to do like I do and just calculate it on the fly. But again, we're not really wanting to do that. So what was I doing now? We were counting up there. Oh yeah, it was a 1, so we went to a 2, which is still a no wait, was it a 1? I think it was a 1. Wasn't it a 1? I'm pretty sure it was a 1. Well, anyways, we're gonna give Strowman a chance. He only has a 12, and he's hits Holtby right in the chest on that one. Let's see what Holtby does with it. 16 on Holtby is a 28. 28 says save, shot and goal opponent, 4th highest. We're going to check for a clear first. Defensive zone faceoff if they cleared. So again, 7, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. And 7 again. So just barely they cleared it out. Another defensive zone faceoff and another tick off the clock. There's 2 minutes left to go. We're down to 4 here. All right. So last 2 minutes. We'll go ahead and bring out another line here, whatever. Last 2 minutes of the first period. These guys were out there for a while anyways. So if I had the space, I would have all these cards just out on my table because they're not going to take up that much space to have them all out. And so what I would do is I would have like, you know, line 1, line 2, line 3, and my defensive pair, line 1, line 2, line 3 over here, and then my other team over here. And I would just have a marker on, who's out. But I would have, they would take up too much space for you guys to be able to see everything. So what are we doing here? So we're doing a face-off. That's what we're doing. We should have, I can't remember if we ticked it off. We're going to go with 3 left. So 3 plays left in the period. 22 is a 4. 4, who's got the advantage? 2, 2, so it's even. 4 is a home right defense. So that's Niskasen. And 63 is a 25. Intercepted by the right defense. X. So we're down to a minute left in the first period. 2 plays left. Oop, that's kind of on the edge. 26, I can read that one. It's a 24. 24 is intercepted left defense and an X. So last play of the first period comes off Orpik's card. Let's see what happens. That's a 14 is a 30. 30 says icing. Defensive zone face-off X, and that's going to do it for the first period as he ices it down the puck. The horn sounds before they tag up on it, and that is going to be it for the first period. Washington takes a 1-0 lead into the locker room, and we would have stats and everything, but I'm not doing that. As I explained in the beginning, I'm not really keeping track of stats in a practice or a test game. But I just wanted to see the flow and check and see which rules I need to double check out, double learn, just make sure I didn't do anything wrong. Which rules, what questions did I have? There was one question I had, but I don't remember what it is now because I didn't write it down. But I think it's a good. I kind of actually like the players stacked like this because, that way I can change lanes. If I wanted to put Braden Point out with somebody, Kunitz and Callahan, or, maybe I wanted to bring Stamkos out with these guys. If I had all the cards out, I could simply just switch them back and forth, but either way I think would work. I think the setup is pretty good. Um, you know, obviously learning, some of the more difficult forecheck options, the block options, the physicality options, the clearing options. Once you get to do these a few times, you're going to know them, so you don't have to worry about that. And having those different line makeups already figured out, so you don't need to calculate them up all the time for your ODAI, results, I think are going to be more helpful, right? Much more helpful. So you just have these ready to go. We had, I know Stamkos had Holtby had to make a save on Stamkos, which he did. A lot of, just regular already, you know, because their shot range. We didn't roll very many low ones on the shot range, right? So the more low ones you roll, the more shots the goalies are going to have to save, and that's all, random, you know. So 24, Kunitz would actually, made Holtby make a save. But we didn't roll very many low ones when it came down to it. So that's why, we only ended up with 1-0. We did have, what? We had a penalty, and then right after that, we actually had coincidental minors. So that was kind of interesting. So that's not bad. Um, Changing on the fly, we changed on the fly a couple times because I wanted to try that out. We did the crediting the assists in the assist chart. We did that. We used the wide charts, so we know how to do that now. Obviously, the face-off charts. We used the power play charts. The only thing I forgot is when you roll a 53, right? We got to remember if you roll a 53 on a player's card, it's not the number. You go to a special chart for that. We didn't. We might have rolled a 53 and I just didn't see it or forgot or whatever. But you got to remember, 53 is the number. And if you're on 3, if you're doing attack 2, it's just 53. If you're doing attack 3, it is a 53 and a something else. Let's see, what was it on the number? I don't know. I have to look it up. It's in the chart somewhere. So that's a couple of things I wanted to just double check and remember, figure it all out. And the only way you're gonna understand where everything is and what they're doing is to try it out a couple times. And obviously, I would like to have like shots and goal and all that stuff, and it'd be easier to do that on a sheet, but where is it's on here somewhere. 53 on forechecking 2 and dice rolls of 53 and 62 on forecheck number 3. A matchup cannot occur with forecheck number 1. So if you're on forecheck number 1, you can't have any matchups. But you can see there's like huge big chart on matchups. So like for example, if I roll the matchup with the left defenseman here, right? You're gonna roll two six-sided dice. You're gonna get a result. Let's say we roll 6. Left defenseman pinches into the slot and is challenged by the opposing right defenseman. And then it tells you what the matchup is. It's the left defenseman's eye versus the opponent's right defenseman's eye. And then they're going to give you the result if the offense wins and if the defense wins. You can get breakaways. You can here's a complete a pass for a breakaway. Shots and goals with extra ratings. You can see, with your shot rating of +1, you can give it away to your opponent and they can get shots and goal and all kinds of things. So that's super cool. I like that as well. So that's the first period. Next time we get together, I think we're pretty good to go. We can just roll in with a sheet if I can get that printed out. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this. I know Dave Gardner will be watching this later, so hopefully he'll enjoy it and leave me a comment and let me know what he thinks. All right, guys, we will see everyone later. Of course, we were going really slow and showing charts and everything. So time frame, I do think this uh, has the potential to go fast if you have all the players out, and you can make your line changes without doing that. And if you have your different line combinations already figured out with your ODAI values, so you can just say, oh, these guys and these guys are out, so these guys are 12 and these guys are 6, so that's 18. And the more you play, the more you're going to know this chart by heart. I kind of already know forecheck 2 of 13 to 16 is a 0 and a 17 to 19 is a +1. And it also can kind of get you to kind of figure out how you want to do your lineups because getting an extra point here or there can make a big difference in whether or not you get a shot in goal or some other results. So, anyways, that's APBA hockey. We also got the baseball. So, looking forward to that as well. See everyone next time. Thanks for watching, guys.